Hey guys, welcome to the Periscope session here where we're going to be talking about how to use Periscope to better engage with your audience through 7 ways to roleplay with your audience. Now when I say roleplay, I mean you're going to assume the job or the role of something that allows you to keep your mindset around how you can better engage with your audience in this way. So let's turn this around. I'll give you a glimpse. 7 fun ways to roleplay with your Periscope audience. So slide number 1 is become the tour guide. So this is, whoa, almost dropped my phone there. Number 1, become the tour guide. What does that mean? Well, it's kind of obvious, right? Tour guide, it's somebody who takes other people with them and shows them around, educates them about where they are at. And I think this is one of the best things about Periscope is because, you know, live stream was always around, right? Live streaming, webcams, that's not new. We've had Ustream, live stream, we've had web TV, we've had blog TV, all these sorts of things where you are able to watch people live from where they're at, but typically you either have to have a super sweet, really expensive setup in order to do that, using Livestream or Ustream.com or something like that, or you're just in your bedroom and you have that, you know, that Logitech camera that looked like this, that had the eye in it. That is something that was very common, and you could sit on a computer screen and watch other people, and usually the background was just like a dark bedroom or something, right? Kind of exciting. A lot of musicians got started that way, which is really cool. But now we have these things called mobile phones, and that allows us to take anybody with us anywhere in the world where we have a connection. And Periscope describes Periscope as a window into somebody else's eyes, and so that's kind of what you do. And so when you have this device, you're able to show people and give them a tour of wherever you're at, and that's one of the best things that you can do because people love to see where what you're doing and where you're at and all that sort of stuff. It's why we love to go on brewery tours or chocolate factory tours. It's why those things are so interesting. It's why on Discovery Channel, How It's Made has been running for over 10 years now. It's why you know, we just love to know the guts of stuff. And when you are the tour guide, you are the expert and you can show people around where you're at. Bring people on trips, wherever you're at, with your mobile device. That's what you share. And people love that. People love you for that. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing this. Yeah, How It's Made is one of the best shows. It's also kind of giving people a behind the scenes of what you're doing. So maybe the tour guide situation is wherever you work anyway, and you can show people the processes and the things you do to do whatever it is that you do to serve your audience. And when you do that, people are going to understand the quality of whatever it is you have to offer. They're going to understand kind of what you do to work, and it kind of gives them an insider view of what you do. And that's some experience that they have that normal people who watch you or listen to you or read what you do don't have. It makes them feel really special. It makes them feel like they know a little bit more than other people. And when that's the case, you share it, right? Just like why we share In-N-Out. In-N-Out is a burger chain here in California, and also in Nevada. I think there is one in Vegas. But when you know the secret menu, you share that secret menu with other people, right? It's just this thing that you share with other people because it makes you feel like you're in the know. It makes you feel special. And if you go on a brewery tour, you get to know the insides and the outsides of all these different things. And so what do? You share that. Oh my gosh, look at, I mean, I'm an expert at this because I went on their tour and, you know, that this is their process for doing it, right? So it's educational and functional, just like Velarda said. And when you understand, or when you can understand that this is so powerful to share the behind the scenes, to give a tour of whatever it is that you do, it empowers your audience to share, and they're going to be more likely to do so. Now, if you're just joining me, I'm showing 7 different ways that you can role play with your audience to have them engage with you more. And the first one I just mentioned is you play the role of the tour guide. So become the tour guide. Protein style, that's right. No bun, right? I also like animal style fries. Have you had that? Okay. Wow, everybody's talking about In-N-Out. I love it. Hey, here's a question. In-N-Out versus Five Guys. Which one's better? In-N-Out is overrated. Sorry, not sorry. What, Brandy? No. Grilled onions, yes. You just haven't gotten into the secret menu, Brandy. I think that's why. In-N-Out, animal style fries, yes. Never been to In-N-Out. Wow, Kristen, I'll take you there. Let's go, because I'm really hungry now. In-N-Out. Culver's, I never heard of Culver's. Five Guys says go live your faith. Okay, that's awesome. Now here's another thing you could do. Number 2, become the game show host. So did you kind of see what I did there? I asked you guys, which one do you like better? In-N-Out or Five Guys? And boom, 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 everybody started chiming in. So, it's great to ask questions on Periscope. You know this, right? You've done this before, most likely. Hey, where are you from? And all those sorts of things. But when you ask a question where there's a different answer or a specific answer that you want, people are going to be very, very passionate about sharing that answer. So you just all witnessed it right there. Which one do you like better, In-N-Out or Five Guys? You guys shared your opinion. Some of you guys are getting kind of passionate about your answer. And I would too, because I'm an In-N-Out guy. But be the game show host. Put your audience to the test. Ask for an answer. I share that all the time. Ask for an answer. Not just ask a question, but ask for an answer. And more specifically, I can give you an example here. You've probably, actually, how many of you in this room right now who are in this Periscope watching me right now, say me if you've watched a game show. Just type in me if you've ever seen a game show. It's probably going to be most of the people in this room. Me, me, me. A lot of me's, awesome me's, brills, me, 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 me. Okay, great. Now, type in me1, just the number 1, me1 if you've ever watched that game show by yourself or a game show by yourself. Type me in the number 1 if you've watched a game show by yourself, just completely by yourself. A lot of me1s. Okay, great. As you can see, I'm, again, asking you for a specific answer, and you're giving it to me. So I'm kind of proving my point already. Now, final question related to the game shows. Type in me2. Actually, that works out pretty well. Type out me2 if you've at any point while watching a game show by yourself have yelled out the answer. You're alone, you're by yourself, Alex Trebek gives you that answer, and you say, "What is Wisconsin?" And you yell it, even though nobody's there to hear you. Look at that. Everybody in the room, oh, not everybody in the room, but me7, somebody just done it many times. But look at all the me2s here. We all love to shout out the answer when nobody's there. Why? Why do we do that? Does anybody have any guesses why we love to shout out the answers to game show questions or quizzes when nobody's there? It's not like Pat Sajak's going to come through the television and award you a prize or anything like that. It's fun. Let's hear some more answers. We are know-it-alls. We are involved. We want to be heard. Feels good to be right. You want to be part of something. Love giving an opinion. The satisfaction. Yes, you guys are on it. You know there's satisfaction in knowing that we're right. It feels really good when we get the answer right. Right? Like when you shout the answer and then you immediately hear it on the television, you're like, yep, I knew it. And then if you get it wrong, you're just like, man. But right? We want to be right. So use this to your advantage when you're on a Periscope or when you're doing a webinar or even on social media. This is something you can try on social media right now. So one example I like to use is, so ask questions where there's a specific answer. There's a guy named Steve Spangler. He is a scientist, and he does a lot of cool, fun experiments. He's been on Ellen and Oprah, and he used to do his YouTube videos like this. He would do an experiment, like he would suck in air from a balloon, and what would you expect? You'd expect the voice to be higher, but actually his voice would be lower. He'd be like, "Hey guys, this is my voice." And then he would say, this is, again, a YouTube video where he's demonstrating this, he would say, "This is what happened. This is sulfur hexafluoride, which is a denser gas. It's not helium like you would expect. And as a result, the voice is lower." Leave a comment. Tell me what you think on YouTube. Pretty cool. And so the comments were, awesome, cool, where to get that gas, and all that sort of stuff, right? It was just like, it wasn't very engaging. Like, what would you expect people to comment when you're giving and revealing everything? But he switched it up, and this is where I learned this technique from, specifically stevespanglerscience.com. Then he switched it up. He would do an experiment, just like that, but then not even reveal exactly what happened. He would ask you, what happened? What's the science behind this? What do you think occurred? And the comments exploded. It exploded. People were getting into fights just like you guys, In-N-Out, Five Guys. People were getting very passionate about what happened, and they would try and outdo one another to come up with the best answer, right? So that is something you can do with your audience as well. So when you're on Periscope, ask for specific answers. And it doesn't matter if you already know that answer. It gets more interaction, like Valerta says. Scope Analytics software is being developed by the guy who created Easy Webinar, FYI. Oh, awesome. Sorry, this is probably a side conversation. But you can use that idea of the human need to want to feel right to your advantage on Periscope. So if people don't reply, that's fine. You just keep going. And, not everybody who's watching this has replied. There's 131 people in the room, and I'm pretty sure not all 131 people responded. But the other cool thing is when other people start replying, it brings in more people to start replying. Some people are not early adopters when it comes to commenting, so they're going to wait for other people to comment, and once they see chatter and conversation, they're going to say, wow, awesome. I'm not going to be alone if I were the only one to answer. Some people don't want to be the first one to answer. Some people do want to be the first one to answer. So thank you guys for the hearts. It's confirming that you guys enjoy this. So use that to your advantage. So let's try another one. What is more important in a video? Sound quality or video quality? You tell me the answer. If you're posting a YouTube video, what's more important, video quality or audio quality? Let's see. Sound, 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 sound. Isn't that awesome? And now, as a result of surveying you in this way, you can all see kind of what's more important. So, side note, if you're doing video, hopefully your sound is good. But yes, it kind of depends on what it's about, of course, but it just shows you that audio quality is actually very, very important. And here we go. Here's some of the more conversations that are happening as a result. Linguist Francis says, it depends. The purpose of the content. And we can keep talking about this. We could probably have a whole Periscope about just audio versus sound quality. And again, does it really matter? Actually, yes, it does. So as a result, people get very passionate about it. Here's another question for you. What's more important? Content or design? Which one is actually king? Content or design? We always hear content is king, but is design king? What do you guys think? Missed that last comment about analytics. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't hear that. Content says everybody. Now, here's where it gets interesting. What if I were to say, well, okay, content is very important, obviously, but what if people land on your site and the design is so terrible that people don't even read the content that you have? What's the first thing that people do when they land on your website? What gives that first impression? Is it the design or is it the actual content? Design, exclamation point, exclamation point. So, we can have this debate here and have this, but as you can see, I'm asking you questions where there is some answer, and as a result of that, we are a lot more engaged. Again, you're getting very passionate about this. TD Romig says, okay, fine, design. But here's another thing. Sure, what if your design is awesome and leaves a good first impression, but when people start reading your stuff, it's actually stuff that is terrible. So does it even matter that the design is important? Well, I got a lot of LOL, okay, fine. So I'm probably confusing you guys. I think the most important thing is that they both have to support each other. I think that's the most important thing. So anyway, we could talk days about this. We're only on topic number 2, taking the role of the game show host. So when you're on Periscope, be the game show host. People love game shows. People love to answer questions. Hopefully this was really helpful for you guys. If you guys feel that this content is helpful for you as Periscopers, say mustard. I don't know. Say mustard if you feel like this is helpful. I don't know where mustard came from. I think because I made a sandwich for my son this morning. But okay, mustard. Yes, absolutely. Mustard. Okay, good. We got lots of mustards in the house. And again, just random things like that. Like maybe somebody wasn't paying attention right now, and this is just another side tip. If somebody's not paying attention, when they hear something that's out of the ordinary, they're going to start paying attention again. So saying mustard actually was not a bad idea. You know, you've all gone on websites before, have seen the same old stuff, same old ads, but when you see something that's completely new, that's something that's going to be like, whoa, did he say mustard? Spicy mustard, brown mustard, there you go. So another side tip for you. All right, let's go to number 3. The third way you can roleplay with your audience is, Heather says grape upon, become the matchmaker. Become the matchmaker. So this one's actually pretty simple. If you are with other people, introduce, be friendly. Be the kind person where you're introducing people to other people. So the connector, yes, says Magundaville. Nice, connect people. This is one of the best things you can do. You might know some connectors in this world who just seem to know everybody. And a lot of times those people are very, very successful. Or just know what to do because they have other people in their lives that they can go to when they need help. There's a couple people who come to mind right now, Jamie Tardy from Eventual Millionaire, John Cochran. These are all people who just seem to know a lot of other people. So when you become that person who likes to, Lewis House, yeah, absolutely. Cliff Ravenscraft, totally. Great suggestions as well as other connectors. When you become that person through Periscope, you are doing people a huge favor. For the people you are introducing to live and in person. If, for example, there was a person right here, hey guys, meet Jill. She's, I don't know why my arm is around Jill, don't tell my wife, but Jill is amazing. She has a website at blah blah blah.com, and you know, what am I doing for Jill? I'm doing her a huge favor because people are being introduced to her. So Jill's like, awesome, Pat, thank you so much for introducing me to your audience. But but the audience is feeling very grateful because they're meeting somebody who could potentially add value to them. And just the fact that it's like, what do you do when you're with a group of people and you're meeting people for the first time? You do that, right? Like, if you treat Periscope like real life, then people are going to be more likely to treat you like a human being. They're going to be more trusting to you. It's again, just a way to connect people. When you become the connector, you become more authoritative. That's the bottom line. When you become a connector, you become more authoritative. So, that's that. What did Al Carroll Monterio say? I want to know what Al said. Paraconnector. Is that what he said? Jill has a transparent personality. Yeah, totally. nicely done. And I'm waiting for confirmation on what Al said. So, or Carol, I'm sorry. What did Carol say? Because it seemed like it was important. You guys agreed, and I was not paying attention. I was trying to make sure Jill was being taken care of. But anyway, Jill's hot, right? Look at that, flawless. Okay, so paraconnector. There you go. I like that. Thank you. Be the paraconnector. So just to recap. Number 1, become the tour guide. Number 2, become the game show host. Number 3, become the matchmaker. Introduce Jill to everybody you know. Number 3, become the entertainer. This one's obviously, I'm all about transparent. I only connect with people who are transparent like I am. Become the entertainer. Now this is obviously something that not everybody is going to do. And if you just choose one of these, that's great. But this is number 4. This is become the entertainer. Periscope is a way for people to be entertained. And of course, that's a lot of the reason why you're here. And there's a lot of different ways to entertain, of course. Hopefully this is entertaining because it's educational and valuable. That is also entertainment. But you could do things that you might do in front of friends that you might not do in front of other people, like play instruments or sing or play harmonica. Shout out to Chris Ducker on Duckerscope. Again, this isn't about making a fool of yourself. This is just about being entertainment and giving the people who are watching the idea that they're in the right place, that you're actually helping fill in their dead time, because they wouldn't actually come on and watch you on Periscope unless they just wanted to do something and be entertained in some way, shape, or form. So there's a lot of things you can do. Doodle, says Nicolo. I think that's great. Number 1, tour guide. Number 2, game. Number 3, matchmaker. Number 4, entertainer. Thank you for sharing that. You guys don't know what this is? This is a recorder. This is a recorder. This is a 4th grade instrument, and I found it the other day, and my son and I were jamming on this. So I'm going to play a song for you, and I'm going to play the game show host at the same time. I'm going to ask you, what's the name of the song? Hot cross buns, no. Got to make sure the holes are all covered. Okay. Titanic, TD, what up? Freebird. TD gets a shout out. Titanic, nice. My heart will go on, yes. I'll take Titanic though, because that's where it was from. What? No, okay, that's terrible. No, that's not actually a song. Anyway. Thanks, guys. 1.4 million. We reached 1.4 million hearts. Green Acres. Kathy, how did you know? Green Acres is the place for me. Ha! Viewers are dropping. Well, don't force entertainment. That's all I got to say about that. But obviously, Periscope is a great platform for entertaining. And again, make sure that if you are going to share something like a concert or somebody on stage at an event, make sure you're allowed to do that. But that's another great way. I've watched a lot of pregame football stuff this past weekend. A lot of people are using Periscope to actually show behind the scenes at football games, which is awesome. I think that's really cool, super entertaining. I also saw a triathlon in Mexico the other day on Periscope. Again, my eyes were just glued to the screen because I'm watching that stuff. Okay. Number 4, become the entertainer. Next, number 5, become the reporter. So this is what I feel Periscope is very powerful for, and we've seen this especially recently with a lot of the things that are going on in the news, the elections, things on the other side of the world. As a reporter, you are sort of the first to the scene, and using Periscope, you are bringing this information, this breaking news to people. Now, this doesn't have to be anything dangerous. It doesn't have to be anything, sad. It could be something great. But when you play the role of the reporter, again, you are seen as that authority who is the first to mention all this, and there's potential to go viral. Obviously, if something is happening, it's definitely something that can be shared. And again, it's sort of like, you know how reporters, right, when they, it's kind of, best practice for people to share who was the first one to report. You might watch a news report, but then it says, from our friends at 6 News in Toronto or something like that. They always give credit, and that's not necessarily always the case with Periscope, but I think when people watch you and you're giving breaking news, it is giving you a lot of credit for you being there, you being, active in promoting whatever it is that is going on. And again, it just makes people feel special because they feel like they're there too. When something is happening, everybody wants to be first, right? Everybody wants to be the first at something. And if they're first or relatively first to know something, they're going to be more likely to share it. Like I talked about earlier with the tour guide stuff and knowing the secret menus. It's why whenever some people who have super popular Instagram posts, what are some of the first comments that are usually posted? First, second, third, right? And it's because people want to be first. So give people an opportunity to feel like they're first. Yes, Jamie says they feel like they're getting the inside scoop, and I think that's important. For example, Simon tried to trick a live engagement from Periscope Summit. I don't know what that means exactly. But anyway, sorry, there's a lot of stuff going here. If you are not in, you are out. I like that reference to in and out there. Nicely done, frankly, Rob. Exclusive, yes. 5. Now, 2 more here. Again, just to recap, we're talking about the 7 ways you can roleplay with your audience to increase engagement. The first one was become the tour guide. Show them around. Become the tour guide. Educate them on where you're at, and also show them around behind the scenes. Number 2, become the game show host. Ask questions. People love to answer questions, even when they're by themselves. And so use that tendency to increase engagement, to get people passionate about answering a specific question and starting conversations that way. Number 3, become the matchmaker. Introduce people to other people through the power of Periscope and that platform. Number 4, become the entertainer. Obvious, just entertain people. Share some of your talents, or share other things that are being entertaining in that area. Number 5, become the reporter. Be the first to give people news about something. It doesn't have to be sad, doesn't have to be dangerous or anything like that, but it could just be whatever. Be the first to share something, and on the scenes, people get the inside scoop. Number 3, says Sarah Jill. Totally. Number 6, become the teacher. And of course, this is an example of that. When you educate people, people are going to be very, very thankful for that. And when you give value to people through a platform like Periscope, especially because it's live, people are going to want to find ways to pay you back. There are different levels of payback or reward for you delivering value to your audience and educating them. Of course, there's hearts, there's comments, there's thank yous and messages, there's doing more interactions and calls to actions like going off of Periscope and visiting a landing page, for example. If I were to say, for example, head to Periscope, or excuse me, head to smartpassiveincome.com/Periscope gear to check out all the gear that I use to set up these Periscopes. You're more likely, as a result of me giving value to you, to go there, and I say, hey, those are affiliate links on that website as well. If you click on that, I do get a small commission from Amazon. And again, because I've delivered value to you, you're more likely, doesn't mean you're going to do that, but it just means that you're more likely to follow through and do those things. When you give value, as Melinda Joy says, you receive love. Thanks for the recaps, Platinum. I appreciate that. And again, this is another thing. I was at FinCon and talking with a number of people who are just getting started with Periscope, which I think is really fun. A lot of people actually did take action and started their scopes, which I think is really cool. Some of you in this room were probably there watching either live on Scope or actually in that room. But I had a lot of people who were like, Pat, when I'm starting out, how do I get more people to follow me? When I'm starting out, how do I get more people to follow me? Well, you could absolutely, share your scopes with your Twitter followers. Make sure to push that Twitter button when you send out your scope and start your scope. That way you get people watching live and right away. Another thing you could do that was actually a good idea I just made up on the fly. I didn't make it up, but I've seen it happen. And Ethan in this room right now is a great example of this. Go into other scopes with popular users who have target audiences that match you and deliver value within those scopes. So Ethan always comes in, shares value, converses with people in here, and just like Platinum is doing right now with recapping these scopes, people are noticing. Somebody had just mentioned Platinum rocks. Thank you for sharing all that stuff. When you become a person in the conversation that people see that there's value coming from that person, people are going to follow you, and it's very easy to do that. You just click on that person's name and you just follow them from there, and that's how you can build your following as well. It's similar to how we do online, where you go into a forum, you become authority there, right? You become known as an expert. You just become seen, and when you do that, people are like, oh, I guess I got to follow. I guess I got to follow Ethan. I guess I got to follow Platinum because they're obviously providing value, and they might have some good stuff to share as well. Pair of recorders rock, totally. So Ethan, thank you. Hey Vicky, good to see you. And Platinum, thank you for that too. So I appreciate that, and of course you can again go into the comments in different people's scopes. It doesn't have to be anyone that you start. You can go in and be a communicator, a value provider within the conversations within different scopes. So anyway, just kind of going off tangent there. But again, this is number 6 of the 7 ways you can role play with your audience, and this is become the teacher. So become the teacher, help your audience out. You can do things like Q&A sessions. You can actually consult with a person here on Scope, and people are watching live, and that is going to be a huge value bomb for people. I think that's going to be an amazing way for you to get more followers, to get more hearts, and of course get more people to take action with whatever it is you want them to do. Thank you guys for all the compliments. I appreciate that. Okay, number 7. This is my favorite one. This is the role-playing that you can do to get the most value out of Scope, especially once you start to build up your audience. Number 7. Not become the teacher, become the student. Become the student. Become the student. What does that mean exactly? Well, you're flipping the role. You are not teaching, but you're allowing your audience to teach you. And when you get your audience involved, you ask them questions and have them direct you in terms of where to go or what to do or get their opinion on something, you empower your audience. You get them involved in what you're doing. And when you get your audience involved in stuff, they're going to be more likely to support you. Quick story. When I was in high school, I was very little. I was not even 5 feet tall my junior year of college, or my junior year of high school. That's how small I was. But I had a lot of great friends who were much taller than me, and they invited me to play basketball with them. So basketball is a great sport. I love playing it. It's a team sport, right? Or so I thought, because whenever my friends would invite me to play, they were just being nice, right? They invited me to play. They would pick me on their team, right? They were nice. They didn't want me to be last, and they would pick me, which was nice. But they would never pass me the ball. And I understand. I was short, but they never got me. Yeah, Pat was the ball, says Heather. Kind of, although I would have gotten more. I would have at least played something if I had gotten, if I was the ball, but I wasn't even really playing. I was there, but I wasn't actually playing. They weren't passing me the ball. They were very competitive, and I get it. I was short. I wasn't likely going to score, but it would have been nice to have been passed the ball every once in a while. I just did not feel involved. Don't be sad, Kathy. It's okay. And a couple months after the junior year started, there was a basketball tournament. And my buddies, of course, didn't invite me to be a part of the team because I was too short. And I didn't want to play on the team. I wasn't playing competitively or anything. But they invited me to come and watch and support the team. And you know what? I didn't want to because I just didn't feel like I was a part of the team. But you know what? If these guys, if my friends, we're still friends today, but I'm just telling you how I felt as a short kid in high school. If they had let me play a little bit, if they had let me score every once in a while, or at least try to score, if they invited me to this tournament to watch them, I would have gotten them Gatorade. I would have toweled them off between timeouts and all those sorts of things. I would have been very, very supportive if they even just got me involved a little bit. So the lesson here is get your audience involved, because if you don't get them involved, they're going to feel like they're on the outside. When you get them involved, they feel like they're on the inside. They're going to support you. So ask your audience for help every once in a while, and it doesn't have to be this outpour of this huge thing that you would normally give to your mastermind group and people who completely trust you and you trust them. But little things make a big difference. So, for example, if you had an ebook that you were working on and you wanted to share, do you like cover A or do you like cover B? Which one do you like? Of course, these are two, again, transparent covers that you can't see right now, but you get the idea. Give your audience an opportunity to help give you help. And when you do that, again, it gets them involved. Maybe you have a blog post idea that you want to run by your audience. And you don't even necessarily have to share that that's going to be a blog post, but you can say something like, hey guys, I have a topic I want to talk to you about. I want to know what you think. I want to know whether you think content is king or design is king. Let's talk about this really quick. What do you guys think? And what this does is it kind of allows you to validate whether or not this is a hot topic and this is something that your audience can be interested in. You might be able to find stories and get information from your audience that is going to help you fine-tune and craft this blog post or this what will eventually become a podcast episode. It might be a course that you have an idea for that you can get validation from. Again, it gives your audience an opportunity to help you, but when you do that, you get helped and you get direction and you get to begin to understand what else is going to happen for you down the road or what other things you can do. So, that's that. Become the student. Allow your audience to help you too. So, let's go back and recap the 7 ways that you can role play with your audience. Number 1, become the tour guide. Number 2, become the game show host. Number 3, become the matchmaker. Number 4, Kathy feels better. Number 4, become the entertainer. Number 5, become the reporter. Number 6, become the teacher. And number 7, become the student. Become the student. And that's it. Be yourself. Oh, I'd closed the presentation that I did at FinCon. Be yourself. Because on Periscope, you don't want to try and be like other people. Some people can try to be like other people on blog posts, and they can hide behind their text. On podcast episodes, it's less so because you're listening to somebody's voice. But when you're live on Periscope, don't try and pretend to be anybody else because it will only look fake. Just be yourself. And if people aren't going to like that, you don't want them to like you. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Big shout out to Chris Ducker on Duckerscope for that quote, because it is absolutely true. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and you will begin to attract people who are just like you, who are in tune with you in the way you do things. And if you start to build an audience by being fake, you're going to get fake replies, you're going to get fake results, and you don't want that. So your vibe attracts your tribe. Again, that's Chris Ducker. I always try to give credit to where credit is due, and he's the man. So, thank you guys for watching this. I really appreciate it. I'm going to record this and post it up on YouTube as well. And I want to know what you guys think. On a scale from 1 to 10, how helpful was this to you? Again, this is me kind of playing game show right now, where I can have you quickly and easily answer how you like this. From 1 to 10, I want to know, truthfully, honestly, if you felt this was useful for you, because I'm always trying to deliver value. And 8, thank you for your honesty for Geeky Dogs. I appreciate that. 8.4674435 says Brokepreneur. 10, 8. Okay, good. Mustard. Clever. I like that. That's another thing that comedians do very well that I love. Whenever I watch a comedy show, I love when they pull jokes that they mentioned like 20 minutes ago. I love that. Minus the flute. Nice. Thanks, guys, for the kind words. I appreciate that. Always trying to improve, so whenever I ask you guys for honest advice or honest direction, I want that. And again, this is me becoming the student as well. So you can follow me at Pat Flynn on Periscope if you haven't done so already. Look out for more Patscopes down the road, and again, this will be up on YouTube if you want to catch the replay there after 24 hours if you want to recap this for you and your Periscopes as well. Bigger font on PowerPoint, yes, thank you for that. This was definitely something I could have done that for, so thank you for that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts, and best of luck to you in your future scopes. I hope you find engagement with your audience through these tips. bless you, and I will see you in the next Periscope. Peace, guys.